Yo, 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 what is up? We are back talking about Derek Carr today. Seems a lot of news going around. People don't know where he's going to go. Trying to talk about the situation he's in over there. Seems like a bunch of crap. So with that, stay tuned. Yo, yo, yo. Now, so Derek Carr, when it comes down to it, the Raiders got till the 15th of February to deal him, or they have to eat $40.4 million of his guaranteed contract. So, and like nobody is making moves right now. He also has a no trade clause, so he can kibosh the deal at any point in time. So this really gets interesting because he can make them eat his salary and then go and get traded over to somewhere where he wants to go and do whatever the hell he wants. And if they can't deal him, then they could cut him. Seems pretty crazy what's going on over there. Why they would just why the Raiders organization would just handle this the way they did. I don't think it's a smart way of doing things, especially when you got to come to him to try and deal him to get some capital / money back. You know what I mean? It's not a good look. It doesn't seem like no one thinks ahead over there. To totally throw somebody on the bus, treat them like crap, and then have to crawl back to him saying, can you please help us out? Can you please help us find a way to save $40 million? Like, that's just, it's par for the course when you're talking about the Raiders. I do want to share something LaShawn McCoy was talking about. Here it is right here. He's speaking about how, well, first they were asking, is the Raiders going to do better with or without Derek Carr next year? And Joy Taylor just got done saying that it only Brady can go to a different team and have that type of success to make the last team feel jealous. And I don't necessarily think that's true, especially with certain franchises and how they run their business. You can have a good player on a team, but just totally can't produce anything because of the environment they're in. So I don't think it's necessarily true, Joy, there. But I do feel that it's a mistake for them to give up on Carr without having anything in place on a whim, and also being, going to be 40 million down without having to, you can't restructure, you can't do anything there. He doesn't want to do anything. He's tied your hands in this situation. So with that, I just want to show you what Sean McCoy said about this. It seemed like he got a little worked up, and I thought it was totally true.
I'm gonna disagree with her. You know why? And I'm not fair, right? They should cap him, but I don't care about fans out there. Spiking emotion. It's all Pro Bowls. And out of my 4 or my 6 years there, 4 years, I was a top 6 jersey seller. I was popping. Chip came that call. He traded me for nothing. Back at Chips. And guess what? The fans love me. They love me. But they would never turn it back on the franchise. Think about that. Brian Dawkins, they love him in Philadelphia. But he will get old one day. Terrell Owens, they love him. Got him. Down me that. I can keep going. The franchise will always be there. And the Raiders, I'm sure, there might not be another quarterback as good as Derek Carr, because he did some good work there, right? And they had a lot of issues off the field and on the field with that franchise that I think kind of, messed up the whole issues with Derek Carr. Because he was a solid quarterback. The only thing is this, and it's the only thing that matters. They don't care about that. They'll draft another quarterback, trade somebody, whoever it is.
This is so true.
Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, whoever they get. And they will forget about Derek Carr. That's how it works. The fans won't, but the franchise will always go on. That's how it works.
Wait.
Cold world, bro.
I agree.
Wait.
I agree with
what
you.
if Derek Carr?
And it's funny.
You know what really do lately?
Leaves the Raiders for Aaron Rodgers to team back up with Devontae Adams, put in a Raiders uniform. It's hilarious. Acho over here. Joe did make sense for once in his life.
Yeah, is the concept of the guy who hadn't wanted it better made it worse. And I think that's where the Raiders are. I think
they do this all the time.
They want it good, and they're about to make it terrible. The Raiders have only gone to twice in Derek Carr.
Also, the person who wanted it better and made it worse, doesn't that sound like it came from a seminar in a room with a whole bunch of people from multi-level marketing companies to try and better yourself?
Right. But Call in the previous 13 years, they went to the playoffs. No, Derek Carr, the previous 9 seasons, has been the sole and exclusive starter for the Raiders. The 9 seasons prior to Derek's arrival, they had 6 starting quarterbacks, including Dante Culpepper, old Dante Culpepper, Jamarcus Russell, just to name a few. The guy who had it good and wanted it better, it worse. I get the Raiders are trying to make it better. I would playoff appearances in the last 9 years. That, in theory, is what is pathetic is no playoff appearances in 13 years, and that's where the Raiders actually found themselves without Derek Carr.
That's where I'm at on that. Also, I wanted to share another thing with you. I'm sure you've all seen it, but God, it's so wonderful. You can play it over and over and over again. This video, by the way, Derek Carr offense would be devastating. Then if they don't speak on that at all. Savage, bro. That's so savage. I gotta hear it again. That dude is a fool. Yeah, was that even showing? I think so. Hopefully. Well, if not, I'll just show it again. There we are.
First, and then talk about it.
You've thrown touchdown passes before. You've been on fire. That hot in Las Vegas.
That's why I'm going somewhere else.
Savage. It's worth watching anytime. So another thing there's an article which I will link in the description from SportsNaut, talking about Derek Carr, and that his trade value has probably hit the highest it's gotten. And it's saying pretty much, there's a lot of hungry, needy teams like Commanders, Indianapolis Colts, Houston Texans, Tampa Bay, just to say the least, actually, because other people might be frustrated and we not even know it. But essentially what they're saying is Carr probably won't even be willing to make a move until all the offensive coordinators have settled in their positions. Who was it earlier who was bringing it up? watched some show and they were talking about just because you like a head coach doesn't mean the offensive coordinator that they hire after you sign on the team is going to be who you like in the scheme that you like to play in, which I think is totally valid. But they're pretty much saying that a lot of the other quarterbacks that are out there that are bigger names than Carr or whatnot that are open to the market, that they're probably going to settle first in the choice positions. That to trade for Carr at that point for like a second thought, maybe not an afterthought, but a second thought, drives his value down, especially if like it's consolidated after the draft and people are kind of already set, kind of like Jimmy G's situation last year. Even though the contract situation is way different because after the 15th, they're on the hook for the $40.4 million. Yeah. I don't see a bidding war with this, really, because everybody's thinking you're going to have other people settle first. And so it'll be down to just a couple. It's not like everybody's going to be waiting on him. It's not like DeMeco Ryans where they hired Sean Payton after DeMeco said, I'm going with Houston. You know what I mean? After he made his decision, they were waiting on Miko. So it's not that same situation. Like they're waiting, who was it last year? They were waiting for him to drop. Or, like Watson, when Watson came up there, everybody was waiting for Watson to drop. And once Watson dropped, everybody else jumped into the pool, which is pretty telling for some of these teams, like holding out for Watson after all that stuff. I don't know. Yeah, with that, please let me know what you think in the comments. Should the 49ers trade for him? I don't think so. I think we've put enough draft capital in quarterbacks. I don't think we need to be giving up. Also, we would have to trade up. We'd have to trade up some of our picks, I'm guessing, to get they need, because I'm sure they don't want 3 threes, 3 third-round picks, instead of, a second and a seventh. That's what second and a seventh. I think that's what the Colts got for Wentz, which could be around where he's going. Maybe a second and a third, second and a fourth. He did, after his little performance in the accuracy contest, he lit it on fire. So his stock might have raised, but I don't think it's raised enough for him to guarantee first. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I don't know if the Niners should do it. And with that, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Peace.